Well, I asked Uncle Sam what a man's supposed to do if you can't get a job, all the doors are closed to you. Well, you need to make it, dog. Well, you need to make it, dog. If you can't make it one way, well, I guess you make it with the other. All through the years, you did the best you could. Rent was still with college, you're still studying in school. Now you need to make it, dog. Need to make a dollar. If you can't make it one way, well, I guess you make it with the other. Two children don't have a man, you need to make it all. Need to make it all. If you can't make it one way, well, I guess you make it with the other. You need to make a dollar. 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 If you can't make it one way, well, I guess you make it with the other. Now, in that, I tried to demonstrate the different things that you need to do if you are going to play alone. But first, I'll speak about the main thing that you must overcome, and that's fear. Because, especially, I should ask, everyone here is playing. Do any of you play in bands or?
Not all of us. Some play just for YouTube.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, if you're going to play alone, I mean, I'll just speak from my own experience. I started out playing in bands. Well, everyone starts playing alone. That's number one. Please look up. Everyone starts playing alone, but eventually you get to the point where you will play with a band. It's easy to play alone, of course, in your house. But to play alone for other people, you must overcome the fear factor. Some tips on that. Well, there's several things. B.B. King told me once that, how did he put it? That you know, as a player, you know what you're playing better than anyone who's listening to you. So, in other words, you know what it is that you want to do. You know what you want to express. Try to use that. That's something that you try to use to your advantage. In other words, you have, what he was saying, that everyone has something unique within them to express. And that's something, I mean, that can be enough. In other words, you have your, regardless of what you're doing, no one does it the way you do. So that makes it that, you have something different than the next person to express, regardless of your ability. That's something to keep in your head. You have your own voice. That's one, I mean, that's one of the most important things, I think, as far as this goes. You also, there are little tricks that you can do. You can, if you're on stage and you're nervous about being on stage, what you can do is you can look at the last person in the room, and everyone will think that you're looking at them. But you look just above the head of the last person in the room, you're actually not looking at anybody. I know this is something that I used from the very beginning, because the first time I was on stage, I mean, my knees were literally knocking. You know? I was terrified. And this is, you have to remember that everyone feels the same as far as that goes. You're not the only one who's afraid. Everyone starts from the same place. Everyone has fear of being on stage. Barbara Streisand, for example, is someone who is quite well known, but who suffers from stage fright, which is why I think she has, when she works, she always makes sure that there's actually light in her eye, the stage light, so she cannot see the public. So that's how much fear she actually has of being on stage. You know, if you think about these things, then you realize that you're not alone as far as the fear factor goes. Everyone has it. It's something that does get better, but in order for it to get better, you must get on stage. You must confront it head on. I mean, myself, I was to the point, I'm basically a shy person. Publicly, I don't mean, so to actually be up, even to be up here now is, if you told me even 20 years ago that I would be doing something like this 25 years ago, no. I was not the person to stand up in front of people, because it's not my natural way of being. But you have to do it, confront your fear head on, and it will get better. Are there any questions about that?
What do you actually fear on the stage?
Excuse me?
I mean, what's the source of our fear? What do you fear actually?
That's a good question.
From psychologically
Actually afraid of.
point of view, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
What do you personally fear?
What was I personally
Yeah.
afraid of? I mean, it's very simple, fundamental, but good question. I mean, I guess for me, it was just, I'm somewhat a perfectionist, I wanted to be good, and I just figured I was not good enough to be on stage. For me, and it was, this also is what I had with writing my own songs at the beginning. I idolized my heroes to the extent that I thought that I would not have anything to add as far as the songs go. I mean, I was studying the music of Willie Dixon, for example, Little Red Rooster, Just Want to Make Love to You, so on and so on. I thought that I could not possibly write something better than him. I think the fear comes from you comparing yourself to someone else. For at least in my case, that was it. And wanting to be at least as good as that person. And feeling that you're, believing that you're not as good. And I mean, on principle, of course, when you're just beginning, excuse me, you will not necessarily have the talent of someone like Willie Dixon. But I'll tell you, I spoke to Willie Dixon about songwriting. And at the time, this was 30 years ago, 35 years ago. At the time, I was not writing my own songs, but studying the songs of others, trying to interpret them the best I could. And I was at the house of Joe Louis Walker, who's a well-known guitarist from the Bay Area. We were playing together in a duo. And Joe had some, I think it was the time that everyone was going to go to the White House to play. And so Joe had to call up Willie Dixon. I was there. He said, "Hey, you want to talk to Dixon?" Willie Dixon, oh man, no, talk to him. I talked to him and said, "Oh, Mr. Dixon, hey, young fella, I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm just sitting in my shed, in my garage, writing. He says, are you right? Have you written anything lately? He asked me. I said, no, man, I can't write anything as good as you. So he said, let me tell you something. Write 100 songs. 20 of them will be good, and 5 of them will be great. It was wonderful advice. Just keep doing it. First, begin, start. Just keep doing it. I mean, for me, that was part of it, not the fear thing, not being able to live up to the ideals of my hero.